Did you miss me? Because I didn't miss me. I hate myself. Today, we are going to be doing what I do all the time, and that's make bad financial decisions. And we bought more CDs. And I only bought a couple. I didn't really buy a whole lot of them. Let's get the first box out. My favorite part about like titling the videos is I'm like, yeah, so this is just a couple CDs that I got today. I didn't get a whole lot. I wish I could have gotten more. But yeah, I'm low-key, like, I low-key just want to have like a giant CD collection. Because I started like lending people CDs like, I think you would like this, you know? I feel like you would enjoy this kind of music. And I don't know, just knowing that I can, like that's an option for me that I can do is really fun. Cause like music is like my I don't really like this box, but it's okay. Music is my life, you know? And is there anything? No, there's nothing in there. And I want to share that with everyone that I can, you know? There's so many human beings out here and so many people for me to meet and like be like, yeah, you would like this kind of music. Fuck. All right. So the first one in this box is Houses of Hope by Tony Childs. This is really cool. The jewel case is a bit messed up. It's got like scratches. I don't really give a shit though, because if the audio doesn't have any problems because of that, like why would I care? I'm assuming that's like indie folk or like singer-songwriter kind of giving kind of indie rock kind of stuff. Next we have I Was Warned by Robert Cray and the Robert Cray Band. This is sick. I'm getting blues from this. I already know this is like contemporary blues. Okay, next we have, wait, what? I can't read this. Is it backwards? Oh, Fashionably Lame by Lizard Music. Or maybe it's the other way around, I really can't tell. This is giving alternative rock. I love this album cover. This is so fucking cute. Like, look at that, dude. This is so adorable. I think that's the problem. This, I think the insert or whatever was put in, like this was put in upside down. All right, fuck. Okay, next one is Storms by Nancy Griffith. I had another CD in my cart by her, but I don't think I ended up getting it because the guy was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Looks like I don't have it. Hey, listen, bro. You gave me all these other CDs and they all came on time. None of them damaged. So that's like low-key, I can't care. Also, I'm going to try and see if I already have the CD because maybe it's a different artist I'm thinking of. Maybe I do. Actually, I have no idea. Let me see, because I cataloged it on Rate Your Music. We're just gonna find out and see. Oh yeah, I have Flyer. That's the one that I got. There was another one that I was gonna get, I guess, but I don't know. Next we have Fugitives by Vance Gilbert. This is giving like folky soul or something like, I can't think of any artist that this would sound like. Oh, fuck, that's so embarrassing. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this one and go to these two. Okay, so I'll explain why in a second. So we got Natty Dread by Charlie Hunter Quartet. This is given contemporary jazz. Natty Dread is making me think of reggae, but it's probably just contemporary jazz, some kind of maybe avant-garde a little bit, who knows. We have Cliff Eberhardt, Borders. This is a really cool cover, by the way. This is also just given contemporary jazz or maybe like singer, songwriter. Might be actually. Okay, I saved these two for last because I was so excited to talk about them. Mark Johnson's Bass Desires, Second Sight. This is one of my favorite jazz albums of all time. My favorite fusion albums. Very simple, instrumentalism that is elevated beyond what you'd expect out of what's possible in such an acoustic setting. We just got Mark Johnson on bass, as of course, it's Mark Johnson's Bass Desires. Got Bill Frisell on guitars, John Schofield on guitar, and Peter Erskine on drums. This is one of the most incredible jazz fusion albums I've ever listened to. And if you don't know who John Schofield is, he is one of the greatest jazz guitarists in our modern day. For me, second to Pat Metheny. And so I was so excited that I saw this CD, and I'm like, I need this. It's beautiful. Sweet Soul is a beautiful, beautiful song. I recommend that if you can't get your hands on this, at least listen to Sweet Soul. Find it somewhere. Okay. Last one out of this box. Innervisions by Stevie Wonder. This is one of the most important albums to me and in the history of music. So if you don't know who Stevie Wonder is for some reason, he is one of the greatest songwriters of all time. The soul giant. I could talk on and on about him. He's my favorite musician ever. There is no musician that could ever top that. He has created some of the most important works in music history, and he has changed music history so much, and he is very important and very vital to the civil rights acts and civil rights movements that are happening right now. Not like, because he didn't really get popular until like the late 60s, but he was still very vital in like the social issues and everything, and he is even the reason that we have Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This album on its own, whenever people ask me, I'll be like, yeah, he's my favorite artist. Okay, what's your favorite album? I don't know, because like I've listened to all his music. I love all his music, even like bootleg stuff I've listened to. I know so much about this guy, but what like my favorite album I think is Innervisions. If I truly had to pick. And that's because it's second to Songs in the Key of Life. And I say that because I think Songs in the Key of Life is like his magnum opus album. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's his magnum opus. But that's like, it's not as condensed as Innervisions is. It's a close second, you know? Songs in the Key of Life is a powerful, beautiful record with so many important moments and so many important collaborations. But what I think is most beautiful about this is that he did this all by himself. He played all the keyboards, he played the drums, he played all the synths. The only thing that he didn't play on here is bass guitar and the acoustic guitar that's on Visions. That's it. Everything else he did all by himself, and he did that and created something incredible and something very, very valuable. And that is why I think that's my favorite album. But I do say Songs in the Key of Life is his magnum opus, because it is. All right. Next on to this next box. Let me get this knife here and open it up. But yeah, that's the other thing too, is I think Stevie Wonder is an artist that I feel like virtually everyone like respects, but I feel like he's not as well documented, if that makes sense, because he never really did a whole lot of interviews. I have an entire playlist of all of his interviews and everything. He doesn't have a whole lot of them. He also doesn't have like a whole lot of like he wasn't really like a mainstream musician in the sense of like Michael Jackson was, you know? Like his whole career wasn't based around like how famous he could be. He was truly trying to make a change in the world. He still is very, very active in, you know, humanitarianism and egalitarianism. He even has a citizenship in Ghana, because the president of Ghana, no, is it? Yeah, it's Ghana. Loves him that much. Okay, next box. We have A Consequence of Design by Epicurean. This is giving like melodic death metal or early metalcore, some kind of hardcore, if not for that style. Let me get this bowl out of here. Me and my plastic bowls. Okay, and then we have IRIJ. I'm assuming it's like Arij or Ari or something. This is I know it's his Dark Folk because I looked it up. Dark folk as in kind of like the offshoot of neo folk or whatever. Like Nordic. So here's the thing with dark folk is there are two strains, and the first strain is um like very Nordic inspired dark imagery type of folk music. And then there's also like the chamber folk kind of dark folk, like like Autumn Shade or something. I feel like there really are two strains. There's one that's very Nordic inspired, and it is based kind of in the same way that like Dungeon Synth is based in black metal and that kind of scenery and that kind of imagery and those kinds of scenes. Because you know Dungeon Synth and black metal go hand in hand. Um, but I mean, if you listen to a lot of black metal albums, they sometimes, if it's not just pure black metal, like if it's atmospheric black metal, there might be touches of dungeon synth here and there. And if you don't know what that is, that's kind of like an early, like the way that I like to describe it is think of like early MIDI music from like Super Mario Bros, that kind of style of sound, but using it to evoke like using that kind of cheap sounding instrumentation of that time period and using it to evoke like medieval imagery, things like that. And my favorite thing about Dungeon Synth is that like MIDI instruments are still beautiful in their own tacky right, and Dungeon Synth uses those to a beautiful advantage. And black metal artists tend to use that imagery as like intros and interludes and even parts of longer songs. A lot of symphonic black metal groups and solo artists use dungeon synth instrumentation and like dungeon synth in general as the symphonic part. Or they would have like an atmospheric symphonic black metal that would have like the part, then the interlude, giant section, just dungeon synth. Dungeon synth is very repetitive. They use like the really like reverberated timpani sounding drums. They use like horns and they use strings, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there's dark folk based in that, and then there's also dark folk that's just kind of based in contemporary chamber folk. Anyways, moving on. Um, this is the debut album of Catherine McPhee. I'm just assuming this is like early 2000s pop music, which I have a soft spot in my heart for because that's the era that I grew up in. I'm gonna make sure that I like align these in a way where like I don't have to like use my entire brain to read them when I move them. Okay, next we have what is this? I actually don't even know what this is. Coheed and Cambria, Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, Volume 4. What is this? What is this? I really don't know what this is. I'm just gonna set this aside because I don't know if this is something that I got on purpose. Too Bad Eugene, Moonlighting. I heard this was Christian rock, and I'm not Christian, but I'll give it a shot. I'm looking this up actually because what if I low-key got the wrong CD? Let's find out. Okay, never mind. This is something that I did get on purpose, I think. It's progressive alternative rock, apparently. Cool. I'll give it a listen. Like I say that like as if I didn't get the CD. More to See by The Undecided. This is also Christian rock, but these CDs are cheap, bro. Like I have to give it a shot. What if there's something in there that I like? This is, I can't read this actually. This is what it looks like. I genuinely can't read this. Like it's just so like you just, I don't know. It's very hard to read. But anyways, the Greatest Hits Collection by Alice Jackson. Not Alice, what the fuck? Alan Jackson, great country singer. I mean, he's probably the guy that really revitalized like the neo-traditionalist sound and country. Then we have Hank Williams Jr., Maverick, you know, Hank Williams' son. He's more alt country than, you know, his